The average solo GP is dead. Being handcuffed to a practice that only makes money while you're drilling crushes your freedom. Being trapped at the office is no way to experience life. And doing more fillings and crowns ain't the answer to freedom. Stop it. Freedom comes when your practice makes money without you. Freedom is choosing how many days and how you dental. Ready to forge your freedom? Then keep listening to become a super GP and super CEO. This is the Titanium Practice Podcast with your host, Dr. Stephen Freeman. Let's go.
Hello, all you beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of the Titanium Practice Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Stephen Freeman, and we've got a good one here. And I personally resisted this whole idea for a really long time. And man, I was an idiot. I was just an absolute idiot for putting this off for so long. But I've got a feeling almost none of y'all have done this yet. And it absolutely transformed the way that I manage the practice. It just made things so much easier. And this literally is something you can knock out in a half hour or an hour. And it just changes everything. And I'll explain why that is toward the end of the podcast. But I want you to just stick with me. Let's do this episode. Let's get through it. I love it now that I know exactly what it can actually do for you. So what we're talking today is mission, vision, core value. I know y'all hate to do it. You don't want to spend any time on this. You want to talk about cutting teeth, maybe looking at KPIs, stuff like that. But this is going to make your life so much easier. So let's dive in. Let's make sure we understand what it is. And then you can understand what it's going to do for your practice by the time the episode ends. So let's start off with mission. So basically the mission statement for your office needs to say what you're going to be doing or what you're hoping to accomplish. Okay? It could be, affordable dentures. I mean, how easy is that one? We make affordable dentures for people. It's just, it can be as simple as you want it to be. It can be as complicated as you want it to be. And I'll go through my examples after I talk about what each one of these actually is. But it's basically what you're trying to accomplish, all right? Your vision is where you're going, okay? What you will have accomplished, all right? So in the future, what will you have done? And then your core values, basically how you want everybody to be acting while you're going on your mission and achieving your vision. It's that simple, okay? I came up with mine. So our mission statement's kind of long. And as you're creating these mission, vision, core values, you are certainly welcome to include the entire office. You're welcome to do it just by yourself. You can choose a couple of key players. I think every organization has one or two, maybe sometimes more than that, folks, that they really value their opinion more than the rest. So if you want to bring those folks along for the ride to decide who it is that's going to be sitting on the bus, you're certainly welcome to do that. And you're allowed to be as fancy or as short with this as possible. But at the same time, it's going to make your life so much easier. So our mission statement's kind of long. I personally didn't come up with all of this, but it captures a lot of what we're trying to do. So our mission statement: our driving force is rooted in not only providing elite dentistry, but to create a profound and transformative impact on the lives of our team members, patients, and the broader community beyond dentistry, fostering positive change and making a lasting difference in the lives that we touch. So that's our mission statement. What our vision statement is, and this one I don't really follow the T as well as far as the example of what you're helping to accomplish, but I wanted to have kind of like a battle cry, so to speak. And our overriding kind of battle cry is, you win with people. I'm an Ohio State guy. That is actually from Woody Hayes. He used to say, you win with people. And we really focus on relationships at our office. I would stress you do the same thing, because really that's what you're going to gain the most in life, is having relationships with various people. between your teammates, your patients. And speaking of patients, that is how you are going to get them to accept the most treatment, okay? You are going to get them to accept the most treatment, the better relationship you have with those patients. Those patients stay, those patients pay, and those patients refer. The better relationship you have with people, the better off your practice is going to be. So our vision is you win with people. All right, so our core values. Our core values actually create an acronym, and it's the acronym SMILE. How perfect is that, right? So the S is for service. We want to be in service and in generous to folks. So we have done free dentistry days. I have a not-for-profit called Warrior Smiles that allows us to give back to veterans. We are in Northeast Florida. A lot of Navy folks in Northeast Florida. Florida in general has a lot of Navy and Air Force folks, but our big area is Navy. So we have the Warrior Smiles that allows us to basically make up for a lot of the stuff that the VA is not going to cover for people. And so the Smile Warriors can provide, we've done things like smile makeovers for them, providing dentures, just a lot of things that they just can't get elsewhere, or it's so backlogged that they can't get their treatment that it just really is a great way for us to be able to give back. I'm a huge supporter of our military folks, so thank you to all of you out there who served. If you're the spouse of someone who served, I know that's incredibly stressful, strenuous on your life as well. We greatly appreciate you letting your loved ones go out and do those things. And I'm greatly appreciative of all the service folks. So anything I can do to give back, that's what I try to do. So that's S, service. And then M in the SMILE is motivated. And this motivated is really leaning more towards talking about learning. We want people that are motivated to learn, motivated to teach, motivated to be curious about why. I love that question, why. And I'll share a real quick story of what I say to my staff all the time is there's a mom and a daughter, and they're cooking a roast. And the mom always cuts the roast in half before she puts the roast in the oven. One day she's cooking with the daughter, and the daughter asks, she says, "Mom, why do you always cut the roast in half?" And she says, "Well, I don't really know why. That's just the way that Grandma always did it." So she calls up Grandma and says, "Hey, why do we always cut the roast in half? Does that, speed up the cooking? Does that make it taste better? Why is it that we're cutting that roast in half?" And Grandma simply responds, "Well, when I was growing up, we never had an oven large enough to fit the roast in one pan, so we cut it in half so it fit into two pans." So as it turns out, the mom no longer needed to be doing that. She just did it because that's the way it was always done. But she never learned the why behind it, and it was totally useless. It was totally pointless for them to be cutting that roast in half because they now had an oven large enough to be able to fit that roast inside the oven. So quick, simple, easy one. As far as thinking about the curiosity and asking why, I really want people who are curious and to find out why, and to not necessarily do something because they're told to do it, but question why it is that we're doing it. A, so they understand it, but B, how often do you hire people from other offices that are doing something slightly better than you in one category, and they've got an idea that they can bring to the table and help you and get you over the hump on something that might be troubling you or keeping you stuck, okay? And motivated to help, all right? We want people to be motivated to help. I mean, obviously, we all get in the weeds. Everyone always runs behind every once in a while at our practices, and we need some help. And we obviously want team players there that are motivated to help other people out. Our I in SMILE is for integrity and accountability. I mean, you just want good people in there. People who take accountability for their actions. People who are going to conduct themselves with integrity. Some of you have medications in your office that obviously we need to keep, locked away and happy. You got nitrous in your office, potentially that you got to keep safe. You're dealing with people's monies, credit cards, calling in prescriptions. There's all sorts of things, obviously, that we want people that can act with integrity to be in our office. and accountable for their actions when they do something right and when they do something wrong as well. Okay? L in smile is for laugh. We want happy, positive, fun people in our office. I joke around all the time. I am almost never serious about anything. I just want to have a good time, and I want to surround myself with people who also want to have a good time. Good Lord, I have no interest in hanging out with people who are always negative, who bring up all the bad things that happen in their life. I mean, shit happens in people's lives. I get that. I mean, that doesn't mean every single day, every single person's coming in, laughing and smiling and giggling. Life can be tough sometimes, but we really want to try to leave that baggage as best we possibly can at the door before coming to the office, and people who really want to kind of heal themselves with the power of laughter. And that sounds corny, totally get it, don't care, but at the same time, it does. So many times people have come into our office in a bad mood from something that happened in their personal life, and they come in and they literally are hanging out with their friends. That again goes back to people who are motivated to help. You are much more likely to help your friends than someone that you're not getting along with. Again, I've got around, something like 50 people in my office. Are they all friends? Hell no, they're not all friends. Do I have about 50 women running around the office? I sure do. Generally speaking, they're all friends and they enjoy hanging out with each other. It's crazy. It's absolutely something. It's something to behold, but it's really cool because they enjoy hanging out with each other and they have a similar positive personalities to each other. The last one is E in smile is experiences. I will touch on this more as the podcasts go on. One of the things I talk about though is we want you to be a super GP and have all these amazing skills in being able to do advanced dentistry and not just fillings and crowns. But one of the other things I talk about is being a super CEO. That doesn't just mean you know how to run an office and looking at numbers and being able to make sure that you're as profitable as you possibly can be, which we definitely want you to be, but that's not all that goes into it. A super CEO, as I kind of used the term in the past, is I need you to be the chief experience officer for the people in your life. So that means you're the chief experience officer for the people at your home, your kids, your family, making sure that they're having these amazing experiences that they will always remember. I'll never forget going to my aunt's funeral, and she died pretty young. And one of the things that for me, young and out of the blue, that one of the things for me that brought me a great deal of comfort was the fact that she and my aunt had traveled a lot. And so in her celebration of life, there were pictures literally from all around the world that she had been to. She had just been to pretty much the four corners of this planet and had done things and different experiences that really affected her life. And so that was comforting to me to know that even though she died relatively young, she had done a ton of stuff, more stuff than most people will do in a long lifetime. And so I think it's also important for you to be providing those experiences for your team members as well. Look, the situation actually is a lot of these ladies may have never even left your state. It's shocking to me. The first time I said that, and I was talking about, getting on an airplane and going somewhere, and then a good portion of them had said they had never even left the state, was mind-blowing to me. Now, I personally live in a pretty good state. A lot of people come here on vacation, but at the same time, get out there, see the world, take them to things. A lot of them come from backgrounds that aren't very conducive to having experiences, and you can be that person in their life that provides these exceptional experiences for them so that, A, you're doing good. These people bust their ass for you. They do. Being a dental assistant's a shitty job. There is no two ways about it. And anyone who wants to say otherwise, come talk to me, because they work very, very hard and they get yelled at all day long most of the time. So what can you do to make their lives better? Crazy experiences are one of those things. Having them in a motivated, helpful environment, being a mentor to those people. A lot of them don't even have dads or parents. that they had growing up. You can be that person. I don't know how many times that I've had an assistant say that to me of, for lack of a better term, you're the dad I never had. And the first time they say it to you, it catches you off guard, and then you start to hear it and you almost become numb. And then it's just crazy, because you can be a person of massive influence in these people's lives. You don't even realize it. You take it for granted. You just think they're there for the paycheck. And I'll tell you right now, everyone bitches about the younger generation, but I'll tell you right now, they do care about money. There's no two ways about it. They're not showing up for free, but if you can give them something above and beyond the money, it'll create a great deal of loyalty. These people are much more loyal than you're realizing as well. Are there bad actors out there? Yes. Are there folks on TikTok and, the Twitters and all that wonderful things that, complain and want to, jump from job to job? They exist, for sure. You're always going to find that. You're going to find that in any generation as well. But a lot of these things about being in service, providing something larger than just the paycheck, is huge to this generation. That's how you connect to them. That's how you connect to people. That's how you develop relationships. These experiences, they do not forget them. I've had, unfortunately, a number of team members move out of state, and I will occasionally, a lot of them have my phone number, and they'll text me every once in a while and say, "Oh, remember when we did such and such?" Or, we went down to Universal and we did the Hollywood Horror Nights there. I'll never forget that. It was the most scared I've ever been, and I was thinking about you around Halloween time because of that. And it's cool to get that. It's something that bonds you and connects and creates those relationships that never go away, and that make it a much easier conversation when it comes time for raises and things like that, and when people think about potentially moving on to another office. And this is all about culture. All of this is about culture, and we're absolutely going to do another podcast on culture in general, of things that you can do that re-emphasize all of these mission, vision, core value things that are imperative that you have, okay? So mine's real simple. It doesn't need to be an acronym, but we've got this plastered on our break room wall so that everyone can see it. Everyone knows it. They need to know it so that everyone is aligned in what they're doing in your mission. Because whether you like it or not, you're the captain of this ship, okay? It's going to go wherever you take it. And you need people who understand and are going to act in a particular way to make sure that you can steer this ship to wherever it is that you want to be. You get to decide. That's the great thing. But you also get to decide how people are going to act along the way. And sometimes you may say, well, it's so hard to find people that I don't really care if they align with them. I just need a warm body to get in. And I have been there before, and I will tell you that it is just an awful way to have a practice. You do not need to grow that badly that you can just bring a warm body on that doesn't align with these core values. It sucks. It's a cancer. It will eat the organism that is your organization alive, and you'll be no better off for it. So set this out. And again, you can just do this on your own. You can knock it out real quickly. I mean, heck, go on ChatGPT and just type some things in and say, this is what I want it to be, and just kind of fine tune it from there, and you're done. That's it. But now you've got people acting in a way that you want them to be acting, and you can be achieving the things that you want to be achieving. But that last one, the experiences, was real big for me. I've got 2 fairly young kids. Everyone always talks about the fact that, the time goes by so fast before they're out of your house that I do whatever I can to create crazy experiences for them. We're going on a European cruise this coming summer. My daughter, like any other girl her age, is in love with Taylor Swift. And so we're going to go see Taylor Swift in Madrid. I mean, I just think that sounds really cool. She hasn't seen it. She doesn't even know we're doing this yet. She knows about the cruise that we're going on this summer, but she doesn't know about the Taylor Swift part, and she's going to lose her mind. She'll remember it forever. Taylor Swift in Madrid? Come on. Really wanted it to be in Paris, but those dates didn't line up. But anyways, point is create experiences for these people. Have a path, have certain core values that these people need to align with to make sure that you have the people you want going down this path. Okay? So I go over all of this, or somebody, I don't do the interviewing anymore, the lady at my office that does our interviewing, they go over these core values, mission, vision, core values, in the interview. And we always ask, can you agree with these? Does that seem like a place that you would want to work? And they almost always say yes. I mean, you're kind of an idiot if you disagree with it, but not everyone actually truly aligns with these things, but they almost all say yes. But we go over that at the interview, and then we go over it again on their very first day after they've been hired, and we actually give them a laminated card with the mission, vision, and core values on them, and that is part of their training. They need to learn this. They need to learn these so that they can be part of the team, and they're not released out on the floor until they know them. Why I like this so much, though, is that if everybody in the organization agrees with these, and if they're being employed there, they have to agree with them. But if everyone is agreeing to these core values, then when you see someone who's doing something out of a line with your core values, you just get to ask them one simple question. Do you feel like whatever it is that you did aligns with, core value M? You're motivated to teach. Do you think that you were motivated to teach that day when when Sally came to you and asked you how to make this temporary? Or were you motivated to help when you decided to sit in your operatory rather than come out and try to flip a room? Were you being happy, or were you bringing down the entire staff? It's all you need to point to is these, and they get it. I mean, it's an objective, way to look at, are people acting in your office the way that you want them to? And if they're not, then set them free. Let them go find somewhere else to work. Go find somebody else. I guarantee you, whatever you come up with, you could do the exact opposite of this. S could be for selfish. You just want people that are in it for themselves, or we're just in this for us. Forget our patients. Forget, the outside broader community. People who don't want to laugh. We're just going to be serious about this whole time. You're free to do that. That sounds miserable to me, but hey, to each their own. Have fun. Do whatever it is that you want to do, or don't have fun. I don't care. But the point is that you get to do and create all of these to make sure they align with how you want to get to where you want to be. And I'm not going to tell you what it is that you should want. You need to know what it is that you want. You can choose to say, you know what? Man, he keeps talking about having 50 people in his office. That's insane. You want to talk about insane? That's insane. Because you're right. It is insane to work with that many people. It's a lot of cats to herd, for sure. And it is not for the faint of heart. So sometimes I simply say, you know what would be really cool to go back to a real tiny office. I used to only have 3 people as employees, and we called them the couch. A team meeting was on the couch. So we just said, hey, it's the couch. And I'd stand up there and, lecture to them about whatever that we were talking about. And sometimes it seems real cool to go back to something that was much more manageable like that. But all the people on that couch agreed with these core values. And they've massaged and changed over time. But generally speaking, those 3 people were the foundation of what it is that we wanted to work with. We were all fun people. We all screw around a lot of the time and like make jokes and pull pranks on each other at the office. In my opinion, you got to have fun. Because if you're having fun and the team members are having fun, the patients feel that. Everyone listening to this has walked into a room sometime and you can feel the tension, angry tension between 2 people. It's the weirdest thing. It's one of the times that I feel most like an animal. It's like this animal instinct that you have. You're like, oh shit, what's going on here? And you almost want to do that Homer Simpson meme where he kind of backs back through the bushes there and just completely disappears. He's like, I don't want to be a part of this. But the inverse of that is true. Of when you're having fun, everybody in the office knows you're having fun. I got a big old building. You can just hear these people just laughing up and down the hallways. That's infectious. And keep in mind, again, if you want to be happy and fun and you like some of these, and feel free to steal them all. I mean, these aren't terribly original or anything like that. But at the end of the day, if you want to have a fun office, and I'd encourage you to have a fun office, a lot of people coming to see you are scared. They're scared. You look at this as just a job, but a lot of the people coming to your office to get treatment from you are scared. And so when they hear that laughter, they know everything's okay. They know that weird stuff isn't happening. People are having fun. Maybe it's okay for me then, even though I'm scared, to relax and enjoy this more than I thought. So that's going to improve the patient experience. That improves the team members' experience. Happy employees. I mean, it's almost happy, employees, happy life for you with the happy wife thing. So keep that in mind. But the biggest thing, again, that going back to when I started out by saying is I took forever to finalize this stuff and actually write it down and make it part of our culture that we're going to align with these things. Because we wrote it down, we put it on a piece of paper and shoved it at a desk and it just disappeared. And then I bring it out every once in a while and say, we should do something with this. But as the team grew, that's when I realized that I needed some boundaries, some way to corral all of this back in, have some controls on who we were letting in to work with us, and then just to be able to keep them not in check, but just kind of as a reminder. I mean, a lot of the time the relationship can be almost like a parent-child relationship where you just kind of, you almost kind of like pull them back in, pull in the reins, just so, hey, get over here. Does this align with the, the I, were you accountable for this as far as doing the right thing in that moment? And it's again, it's objective. I mean, it's black or white. Were you or weren't you? And it's not, you're not being a jerk. You just have a list of things that you all agreed upon. And if y'all agreed upon it and they're not doing that, then they're in the wrong. You're not berating them. You're not making them feel like a child, but you need to help coach and teach them and guide them through, life, through the office, through all of this stuff. Again, going back to a lot of these people, I had one of the ladies that rose the highest in my organization until she moved. She moved about 3 hours away, and I was real sad when she left. She didn't even have a high school diploma. I mean, that's tough going through life without a high school diploma. And her parents weren't real present in her life. And it was just one of these things that, you are that guide or mentor to these people above and beyond just being a boss and someone that they look to for a paycheck. And the better relationship you have with these people, the better off your practice is going to be, the better off your life is going to be, the better off their life is going to be. But that's really what this is about. It's a contract of how your relationship will be constructed. And it's very simple to follow, and it's very simple to keep those people in line. It really is, because, they can't disagree with it. You just go have a nice conversation with them. And again, here's another one. You've probably heard this before. I didn't make it up. It's called the sandwich technique when you go to talk to somebody. You lead with something nice, something good that they've done. Everybody in your office has done something good. So praise them for that. Then you go with, hey, the other day when you didn't help Sally clean the room, did that really align with our core values? Oh, no, it didn't. Oh, okay, great. But really, you know what? I love having you here. I love your energy. Thank you for being here. And I'm glad we had this discussion to make sure that, our core values, blah, 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 whatever. Okay. The point is it's a contract to help you deal with these relationships. It allows you to be less confrontational because no one wants to have these conversations. And I've been routinely told that you will go as far as the number of uncomfortable conversations that you're willing to have. This is an uncomfortable conversation when someone is not going with your core values, when they've done something wrong, but this makes it easier to talk about. And so that's why you should have a mission, vision, and core value, so that you know where you're going, you know how the people are going to conduct themselves along the way. It's that simple. All right? That's all I've got for you today. If you are looking for some more help, I want to read my latest book, then you can head on over to the titaniumpractice.com. Actually, just Titanium Practice, no the in that. We've got some group coaching there. We've got some one-on-one coaching if you're interested in doing that. But hope you enjoyed today's episode, and get out there and get working. Please get this knocked out. Give yourself a deadline to get it done by next week. It shouldn't take you long. Cheat with the AI tools that are out there. They can help blow it out real quickly, and then you just kind of fine-tune it to put your own personal spin on it, and it's done. And then I would encourage you to do those other things. Get it up on the wall in your break room. Get the laminated cards so that everyone knows what it is that they need to be doing. And I promise you, it will have an immediate impact on your patients, on your team members, and on your own life, and the fact that it'll just make this all easier to control and so much more enjoyable. I promise you. Have a great day. Love you all. Thank you all very much for listening. Have a great afternoon. Bye.
You've been listening to the Titanium Practice Podcast with your host, Dr. Stephen Freeman. Please hit the like and subscribe button and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Titanium Practice. Questions or comments? Send an email to info@titaniumpractice.com. Join us next time to help turn your average practice into a titanium practice.